traveling and meeting each other and waiting for an event to happen. So whatever the size of the group is, we can always keep on interacting and learning from each other. A very important thing which we want to highlight is position the webinars. Now, why I am repeatedly asking for your participation in webinars is because what is going to be the end result? Once you all are there on this virtual platform, what is going to be the actual benefit? One simple benefit that I could highlight is we have many people sitting here who are connected with schools and colleges, some way or the other. So we would like to have webinars in the auditoriums of various schools, where one by one of you can come and make a small little presentation, and the entire 2,000 students sitting in the auditorium, they can see your product, they can see your services. The training programs, the workshops, the announcements, all these webinars are listed like a timetable. So if you accept the webinar, you are a member, you will be intimated half an hour before that through SMS or email. So then you can sit on your mobile phone or your laptop or your computer and you can attend to the webinar and then go away. Or if you have missed the webinar, it is already recorded and left there on the website, you can download it later and see what has happened in my absence. You can always highlight your past achievements because there will be many new people who will be joining you in this process. Because once we are going to all schools and colleges, corporates, industries, clubs, all these participants, probably 50 of them who are already here, would be available to all those thousands and thousands of people where these webinars will be conducted, or maybe where there's a small introduction about the platform will be delivered. See, it would not be possible for any school to invite 50 NGOs and then address the audience. But definitely every school can have a half an hour lecture for the students, or maybe a corporate for the staff, who will just deliver them the concept that see, this is what Ludhiana Care is doing, and all the NGOs are there, whatever is your area of interest, maybe education or women welfare or children welfare, the moment you shortlist, if you filter your category, only those NGOs would appear who fall into that category. And then the school principal can invite them or have a recorded webinar and then show it to the students. Or the students can register free of cost and also become individual members who you can convert as volunteers. I came across an NGO in Chandigarh by the name of Saplings who are into environment. They're doing an excellent job in Chandigarh and they want to do something in Ludhiana. But the only problem they have is they are not connected. They're not connected to institutions, they do not have the volunteers. उनको सिर्फ और सिर्फ 10 बच्चे चाहिए जो उनको initiate कर दे. The moment student registers himself, he will register his interest also. I am interested in environment, I am interested in, let us say, rural development or X, Y, Z. And people like you who specialize in a particular area, you have that ready-made volunteers sitting in front of you. You can announce a webinar for those group of students who have chosen for education as their subject for being a volunteer. So that is the ultimate objective, to connect the NGOs with the citizens of Ludhiana. And finally, as we already demonstrated, the members can also chat with each other and with the NGOs also. Now the way of communication between each other could be email, could be a SMS, could be a multimedia SMS also, Facebook as we've already said, and then the notice boards. That's going to be a very, very important thing. For all kinds of notices and notifications, there will be a notice board on your website which is controlled by you. And finally, the webinars. Next. Now, what's going to be a very brief working model, although it's a very, very preliminary stage to talk about a working model, because the actual input has to come from all of you. And you've been given some forms to give your feedback on this. Based on that, the management will actually decide how to move further. But a broad guidelines which we can share is that first of all, please provide us the profile of your institution, the profile of your NGO in a specific format which will be delivered to you through an email once you show your interest.
Is it not online? You can do that?
See, we need to provide you a template. So I'll come to that so you'll have a fair idea about why do we need your specific profile. If you want A website, then definitely you have to give us a detail.
What I'm saying is to give you on paper profile, can't be hidden
No, it will,
on
no.
Haryana case.
So it will not be a paper profile. It will be basically a web interface only. But there are two options. One is that you put your details on the Facebook page, which is online. You can immediately start using it. Second is the website, which I'll show in the next slide. If you want a website, then definitely you would need a structured detail. I'll show you so you'll gather that. Now, what I said is, when I repeatedly say that if you want to participate only on the Facebook, you can do it on your own. But if you want to build your website from our experts, then definitely we have to sit across the table, take your data, and we would present it the way you want it to be presented. And finally, to operate it and to edit it, we'll organize small training programs for your staff. Now, as we already said, this we already covered, the only thing the citizen has to do is choose the category where he wants to participate, or maybe he can also choose something that he wants to participate in terms of money. So he can choose the slab also, and the similar project pops up. So many things are being done on that account. Next. Now these are the few examples that I was talking about. If you want us to create this kind of a website for you, then definitely we need a structured profile for you. Now this is for different examples they are there. Give India as an NGO, then you will have something for i-donation. If you can see all the things that we are talking about, the photographs, the notice boards, the search options, the online i-donors available, all these, the beneficiaries and the donors. So they are customized in terms of a different NGO. Education related NGOs might be required to give a separate kind of information, and that is why one-to-one interaction is required. Now this is again for environment, then save the children, hope, smile is again for children, cry we all know, and so on. Next. Yeah. So these are the kind of admin controls you can govern if you want to govern your website. So I'll repeat on this that we have two options. One is that you join the page, which we all have to do to become a part of the team, where you want to restrict yourself only to the page. You can do that on your own, you don't need our assistance. The second option is if you want to move a step forward and you want to have your website which is linked on to this particular platform, then we need to sit across and we'll give you a specified format to give your details, and then we'll give you the admin logins for that. Website, it will be linked. It can just be linked on the page. Yeah, just the way she showed you that we added doonshot.com, so you can do that on your own. It will take you on your website. Now, the most important thing after doing this is actually doing the networking. Because each one of you probably has, 200, 500,000 or 10,000 connections in the city. And if all of us put together, and the institutions and the corporates get together, and we start networking virtually, see the kind of database we are going to build. I have been, very eager to participate in this kind of an activity, and it took me almost a year to reach the right place. My wife, who's assisting Goonj in the chapter of Ludhiana, the process started from there, and the moment I got the opportunity, this was the media actually where I joined in. So maybe for a year I was waiting for an opportunity, and there were thousands of people like me in Ludhiana who were waiting for an opportunity, and the moment this kind of a platform is available, you see the traffic on the website, and you see the kind of volunteers and participants on the website. So we'll be enrolling students who will be spreading the concept, because the best ambassadors in the society, of the future society, would be our students, the younger generation. And we would try to mobilize them to actually spread the concept and participate in one or the other way in one or the other NGO. So there would be also a team of volunteers amongst us, and LMA is the best platform to mobilize the industry, where we'll be actually reaching the working class also. Not only restricting ourselves to the students, we would actually want to go to their parents as well. So this platform will take us there also. And our basic target is to enlarge the number of members on this Facebook page so that we have a faster growth of the society. Now, you might be thinking there are some commercials, because then you're getting so many things, the idea comes to mind what kind of cost is involved. but sorry to say, it all comes to you absolutely free of cost. Next. So there is zero cost at your end to participate on this platform. Whether you have a Facebook link, or you have a website to be built up, or you want to have a start training or a webinar or whatever what we have talked about, it's coming to you absolutely free of cost. It's only your participation that is the investment from your side. So finally, what we are looking at, what is the basic objective is to actually enhance the reach and the visibility of the NGOs in Ludhiana. I'm really delighted to see that there are more than 50 people here, 50 institutions here, and when I was actually searching on the internet, I'm sorry I could only find 8. It is not that you don't have the websites. You may have the website, but when I Google, the search engine optimization may not be there. So you have a website, but when I search for an NGO, it doesn't appear on the Google. So unless I know you personally, I cannot reach you. But when you have this kind of a fan following, your hit rates automatically increase, and in every search where you have community work, social work, NGO written as a Google AdWord, you will immediately have the Ludhiana chapter coming up there. So we have a faster communication channel, and ultimately what our objective is that a higher social contribution from all the citizens of Ludhiana. Now, what are final steps to move forward? I would request, rather Arpreet would take up that particular thing, how to, at the end of this, you would actually, share what to do about the feedbacks and how to deal with the forms. I think you already have the forms and you already have a contact point. So initially, that is going to be the first point of contact before we actually come onto the platform. And then once you are interested, you need to give us the profile and the pictures that we need to add on as a website template. And finally, once the board decides the next course of action, maybe in 3 to 4 weeks down the line, before that we'll have a final policy coming up last time. Okay.
Sorry, we have no board. We are just individuals who've just gone from one idea to the other. So we take it on as the audience deems fit. We have pages on your table. We just require a little bit of your name, your contact number, are you a Facebook page user or not, and any thought process. See, for us, social field is a new field. We are professionals. Any suggestions for the way forward by all of you who are actually experts in the field? Just 5 minutes, I would request you to please put down a couple of lines. We'll get the forms collected, and then we have a small, a very, very heartening program for you for just 5 minutes.
Yeah, just 5 minutes. And I wanted to clarify on what I meant about the board. The board is the people sitting here. All the stakeholders for me are the board of management. And finally, when I close my presentation, whenever we are talking like this, you might have also experienced while operating your NGO. When you go and offer your services, there are many, many silly questions coming up. Kya farak padega isse? All those lousy questions which will really irritate a person who's fully into it. कि हम इतनी बड़ी बात कर रहे हैं, will it really happen? Can we really make a difference? 120 crore लोग हैं, हम 4 लोगों से क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? So just to strengthen our belief in ourselves, I want to show you a small video of a minute, and I'm sure all of you will like it on the close.
सर आपके उस पार का इंतजाम किए
I'm sure we all put together can definitely make a difference. Thank you very much.
May I request you all to just take 2 minutes to put down your ideas on a piece of paper, and one person per table to please collect the forms. We'll just wait for 2 minutes.
What was earlier known as mental retardation, but now, since that has a social connotation, now these people are addressed as having intellectual disability. We work for children with cerebral palsy, autism, intellectual disabilities and multiple disabilities. The two youngsters you see there, Navjot in orange, has a learning disability. Navjot was prevented from going to school. Schools had kicked him out and he was at home. He's one of a twin. And he was at home for quite some time till he started attending Ashirvad. And Ashima has been to many schools. Ashima has an intellectual disability. She again was refused by many schools, saying that she could not study with other children. Both these students are studying, have completed their level 8, class 8, from the National Institute of Open Schooling, which is a boon for all people who have dropped out of school, and an excellent opportunity for children with disabilities, especially children with intellectual disabilities who cannot cope with the curriculum and the syllabus of regular CBSE or the board exams. NIOS also offers the credit of being on par with CBSE and ICSE or even the state boards. Both these children are very proud of having completed their level 8. You can see the confidence on Ashima's face. And what I also want to share is that when we are talking about resource pooling, we at Ashirvad did not have a building, so we could not open the National Open School, Open Basic Education Center, which affords the opportunity of class 3, 5 and 8. We have many centers of NIOS in Punjab which offer class 10 and 12. But how do you get a child to class 10 without having done 3, 5 and 8 or up to class 9? So OBE had to be brought to Punjab, and Mrs. Paramjeet Kaur, who wanted also to give her participation in social work, she has the first center of open basic education, the one of 3 centers in Punjab, the first one in Punjab, with levels 3, 5 and 8 and also 10 and 12. And here I'd like to add just one thing. It is quite shocking that people do not believe in the abilities of children with disabilities. Because in Punjab, we seem to have the only center and the only school, the only OBE center and the only NGO which has 15 children in National Open School. Surprisingly, nobody else has wanted their children to go to the open school. So maybe this is a message which everybody could take. Please can we have the music for the children?